Hi, I'm Aeneas.
Evening and welcome back into the Blue White Player Show presented by our friends over at Ciocca Dealerships. I'm Aeneas Hawkins, joined as always by Goon. How are we doing today, Goon? You look clean shaven today, brother. You look nice.
So what does that mean?
Unfortunately, it means
clean shaven means no good.
I didn't want to get into it this early, but
no.
You know,
no reason to get into it this early. I just turned 41, obviously, when I shaved. I lost 10 years off my life.
There you go. Is it fun looking in the mirror and being 10 years younger now?
I do have to say this. I did tell my wife, I said, whoever cleaned the hotel, because Aeneas and I were both in Columbus this past weekend. Whoever cleaned the room at the Hampton Inn probably thought a Wookiee was in there. Because there was a couple shave marks all over in the trash can. I had a Wookiee beard laying there.
Oh, man. They earned their paycheck that day, that's for sure.
I left a couple 20s. So
yeah. Side note here, we took the bus up over to the stadium. The nicest bus I've ever been on, may I say. The most comfortable couch I may have ever sat on.
I'm just going to say, you bring your girl to meet Mama Hawk.
Yep.
And then you put her on a luxury Prevost bus like that. You're setting the bar way too high.
We're introducing a lifestyle that we cannot.
Yes,
maintain.
I mean, trust me. I mean, my wife is finally realizing this after 10 years of marriage. But wait, this isn't normal. I mean, why are you not driving one of these here?
Well, to double down, I have to now pull another rabbit out the hat. It's a birthday this week. I got a birthday this weekend, so we got to figure out how we're gonna pay for those gifts. Listen, hey, it's okay, man.
Dude, I've been in the game a long longer than you. I would have said, "Hey, honey, I got tickets to the game. We're gonna go open a bus. Happy birthday." I
didn't think.
Damn it, Aeneas.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm saying, damn it too. My bank account will be as well. Let's get into the game. We got to do it. We've stalled long enough. Obviously, this was a season that a lot of Penn State fans, myself included, had circled as a great opportunity to go compete with, realistically, what is one of the best teams in the country. What did you take away offensively from that game? What did you see that made it tough for the Nittany Lions to find too much success?
It was tough to watch the offense go a little bit. I don't think we really made a concerted effort to run the ball and to establish the run game. I think we got a little too pass happy and this and that. And then we were not out of that game until 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter when it was like a 2-touchdown lead. And it was like we were in it up until then. And hats off to the defense. I mean, there's no problem with the defense. Offensively, was it a game plan? Was it scheme? Was it players? This and that. I don't know why we did not try to run the ball more to establish the run. But of course, I'm an offensive lineman. Of course, I'm going to say we need to run the ball, establish the run. But if they figured to soften them up on the run by getting some quick passes, but they were playing press man and they were right up on our guys. Our guys could not get any kind of separation wide receiver wise.
No doubt. And I think that was the frustrating part of the game to me was it seemed like a little too earlier than you'd like to see the identity of the offense kind of change mid-game. You're throwing the ball around. You still got Nick Singleton and Katron Allen. Hats off to Ohio State's defense. They are a top 5 unit in the country. They're really good. But at the same time, you got an opportunity to go and play the best team, one of the best teams in the country, and go beat them realistically with the way the defense played. Would have liked to see them be a little bit more consistent on the run game and not abandon ship so quickly. One thing I will say, I saw a video from Dan Orlovsky that I thought was really good, where he talked about the offense being in a lot of 3rd and 7 type of situations from abandoning that run game. And what that does, I thought was interesting, and maybe you can speak to it, is not only does it put more pressure on a young guy in Drew Aller, who's playing his first real competition in his career, but it puts more stress on the offensive line that I thought, for the most part, held its own in pass pro when it had some opportunities. But it puts more stress on those guys. It puts more stress on those wide receivers to beat man. And really, a lot of times, by the time the receivers were beating the coverage, there was some pressure, and Drew was facing some of that and wasn't able to be mobile when he needed to be. A lot of things that you would, look back at when you watch that film and say you wish you could correct it.
I would look back on it. I think you would too. And why not try to put the running quarterback in there a little bit? Why not try to put Bo in there to get a quarterback draw to, slow up their pass rush a little bit? We get to 2nd down and 3 and we throw 2 straight passes. I mean, that's just frustrating to watch. But, I mean, did we go with, we're going to take what they're going to give us? Or do we have a game plan? And I think you're 100% right when saying that we really did divert away from the game plan pretty quick. I mean, that game was still we still could have had that game early into the 4th quarter. Even midway through the 4th quarter, the game was still up in the air. A couple guys make a play here and there. But we did put all the pressure on a sophomore quarterback in his 7th career start in the horseshoe. And I don't know what it is about the place. There's nothing physically louder, this and that about it, but it is such a tough place to play. And I don't know what it is. I'll ask the guys what they see and feel about it. But, I went out there in 93 and we had Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson. I mean, that's well before you, but there's a reason why we lost that game. I mean, I didn't see that guy out there this year.
Yeah.
Usually they have a guy, a defensive end, a Bosa, a young type of guy. And what is it, TJ or JT? The
JT Tuimoloau. Yeah.
He literally has destroyed our dreams for a couple of years now.
Yeah, he's a good player. I think you bring up the fact that maybe Ohio State's defense didn't look like it had in the years past, where there was just so many star-studded top 5, 10 picks on that roster. And that's a part of what makes it frustrating, because you watch the film leading up to the game, you look at the way they match up, and you think, okay, this is the year that Penn State is the better football team. They have a chance to go win. Another thing I want to bring up that I was a little frustrated with, and I'm not one to call out coaching or schematics, but just from a fan's perspective now, a lot of 3rd and short opportunities, a couple times where you drop back and you run a reverse to Dre where he's throwing the football, trick plays, and you're passing the football on 3rd and 1s and 3rd and 2s. At some point, you want to go beat Ohio State, you want to beat Michigan, you're going to have to do it the right way. It's not going to be trick plays all the time. It's not going to, you got to line up and play football at some point. I feel like maybe a little too early you got away from doing those things.
I completely agree with being way too early to get away from the game plan. And then this, people are going to say, well, I asked the players this or I asked the players that. I'm not asking the players that. It's not on them. And they did what they had to do to go out there and win this game. We're going to support these guys as much as we possibly can. And I will say this, I'm going to play the company line, but it's not the company line because it is the truth. They still hold.
Yeah.
I mean, if they win out, obviously there's still a chance with Ohio State playing Michigan still. And you never know who might clip up somebody. I mean, it's the Big Ten. It happens every year. So it wasn't a horrible beatdown, which one of those where they're going to be like, well, you can't have Penn State in there. We just didn't play well offensively. Defensively, we played great. Special teams was fine. It was just a bad day offensively.
Yeah, and I think you play that matchup 10 times. You don't need the offense to be significantly better than what they were on Saturday to give yourself a chance to win. We saw that. Kudos to the defense and what they were able to do. The goal line stand in the 4th quarter. A guy like Zane Durant playing good ball. And Marvin Harrison is going to do what Marvin Harrison does, and he did have some success. But for the most part, the defense gave the team a chance to go win that game down the stretch. And to me, that's a sign of a healthy football team. And we'll talk to these guys here in a minute. But I know the types of guys that are in that locker room, the types of guys we've talked to all year long, they're not going to roll over and say the football season's done. You still go play Michigan down the line. You got an opportunity to prove yourself right there. Everything is still on the table.
Everything is still on the table. Everything is still there. Yes, we're frustrated. We are fans now.
Yep.
We are apart from the football team. So, yes, we are frustrated. This is not the first time it's gone down. It just seems like it's the same thing over and over and over again. That's what's frustrating. But we still we don't control our destiny, but we have a lot of destiny in our hands.
A lot of football left to be played.
Sure.
A lot of football left to be played.
And Ohio State does, and Michigan does. Everybody's still going to play a bunch of games.
No doubt about it. We'll be right back with a player guest. Stay tuned on the Blue White Player Show.
Ciocca Toyota of Williamsport invites you to stop in today or check us out online. We have the smart path to your next Toyota, like the all-new Crown, BZ4X, the all-new Grand Highlander, Corolla Cross Hybrids, Sequoias, and more. Over 100 new Toyotas here and on the way. Don't make a $1,000 mistake. Choose Ciocca Toyota of Williamsport and see the Ciocca Dealerships difference. Buy or reserve yours today and see for yourself why Ciocca Toyota is the only stop you need for your next new car. Ciocca Toyota, it just feels right.
This is the place where roadside markets are filled with fruits and vegetables, small batch jams and made from scratch pies, where mountain trails are explored with friends with names like Ghost and Traveler, where award-winning wines, craft-made beers, and spirits are raised, hearty meals are served, and nights are shared under star-filled skies. This is Center County, Pennsylvania. To find out all that's happening, visit us at happyvalleyagventures.com.
Hi everybody, Mike the Mailman here to tell you about a state college company that will help you follow the Nittany Lions to their bowl game. Collegiate Athletic Travel. From charter flights and on-site motor coaches to professional staff, the entire trip is easy and carefree. And with their 47 years in the business, you know you're in good hands. You'll get a game ticket and a lot more. Make memories to last a lifetime. Be there next time with Collegiate Athletic Travel.
Old Dominion. No Bad Vibes Tour. Friday, December 1st. Rice Jordan Center. With special guest Chase Rice and Kylie Morgan. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Old Dominion, live in concert. Brought to you by Messina Touring Group.
Coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see you in a Kia.
Welcome back to the Blue White Players Show. We're joined by a very special guest, JB Nelson out of Pittsburgh. JB, how are we feeling today, brother?
Feeling amazing.
Off day always feels amazing during the season. We, Goon has been pestering me all year long about O-line guys, and it seems like the last 3 weeks we've had nothing but offensive line guys.
I did not buy
sure
anybody off.
To.
You think I paid somebody to get all the offensive line?
I'm not sure what's going on, but there's clearly something fishy going on.
My donation to the NIL quadrupled since then. I said, give me more offensive linemen on here.
It seems like it. It seems like it.
Well, because he sits there and talks to his D-line like, oh, man, remember this was great, man. It was awesome. Remember playing D-line? It was great. Yeah, we had to think so much. He didn't think anything.
JB,
we're the smart ones.
Whatever that means, man. JB, we'll give you credit for being a smart guy. Let's talk a little bit about your journey here, man. You know, obviously a guy that we're both close with, Landon Tangwall, being forced into medical retirement early this season. You have been in a position where you played a lot of significant reps on that offensive line. You've done it at a high level. Let's talk a little bit about making that leap heading into the season.
Well, taking that leap heading into the season, I felt like I was ready for it just from like my teammates just around me, just building me up and like just being able to prepare every day as like a champion and just being ready to go at all times.
Well, I got to say, I watched that West Virginia game. You were pretty geeked up to play that game because you ever see that Jeff Schwartz, the offensive lineman from the Cleveland Browns in the NFL. Come on, man. You know that's on repeat on your phone now. Come on, don't lie. So JB comes off the ball. The nose tackles engage with the center. He gives him a little flipper here. The kid flips over, rolls about 32 yards away. He hits a linebacker. He throws him to the ground, and there's a safety standing there like, no. And he drills him. So I saw that and I said, "Oh, baby, this is a good one.
Yeah,
This is a
JB
good
Nelson
one, baby."
just fine. Yeah.
So, I mean, JB, we know that you're hurt. We know you missed a couple games here. So, I mean, we've all been in that route and gone down that route, being injured and stuff like that. How bad was watching? Did you go? I don't know what the rule is nowadays with going and traveling if you're injured and stuff like that. Did you go?
I did.
Part of the 160 or the 65 guys, or they have like a little taxi squad now?
No, part of the 65 guys.
Okay. No, it just has to stink,
Yeah, it did. I definitely wanted to be able to support my guys out there, especially going into like a big game like this. So it definitely hurt, like being on the sideline, not being able to play.
Yeah. But, I mean, it is part of the game, and you got to get through it. It's a mental thing. I know we talked about it being off the air. He told me try to help the guys out through this type of stuff, because it does wear on a guy, because you feel like you're ready to play, and it's like if you're not ready to play, you're going to hurt yourself more. So we don't ever want to go down that route.
Yeah. I want to ask you, JB, about the collective offensive line group. I've been really impressed with the guys we've had on and just talking about the culture in that room. I want to talk about Coach Troutwine specifically and how he was able to land you as a recruit. So if you can take us back to high school when you made that decision to eventually come to Penn State, and what that journey looked like for the fans back home who may not know.
So actually out of high school, I didn't have any offers. So I ended up going to a community college, Lackawanna in Scranton, PA.
Correct.
And I went there right around during like when COVID happened. So like I got on campus like late like spring, because our season got canceled, and I had a really good spring ball, and that's when like the offers started really coming in. And I talked to Coach Smith. Actually was the first person I talked from Penn State, because I talked to him a good amount in high school, and he's from Pittsburgh and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I went up to a camp, did a camp. I got offered. And
you did the camp, I'm sorry, as a Lackawanna kid? You did a camp up here as a high school camp?
Yeah.
That's cool. I love learning these things.
And then, so I got offered after the camp. And so I came up on an unofficial visit, and I just loved it. And plus what's it called? Tyrese Mills, he went to Lackawanna with me, and he was committed before me. And like that's one of my really, really good friends, and we just loved it up there. So I was like, okay, like I'm about to lock in. So like I think like 5 days after my unofficial, I called Coach Frank, and I was like, yeah, like this is the place I want to be. Like I love it here. So I got committed, and that's really it.
What is it about Lackawanna? Jair Brown, Jaquan Brisker, Tyrese Mills, you already mentioned. I mean, guys come out of that JUCO and they're ready to go at Penn State. What is it about that program that leaves you guys so prepared coming in?
I don't know. It's like we just like more up at Lackawanna. There was really nothing to do out there, so you're really just up there and you're really just locked in and just ready to go. I'm not gonna lie. It's like we're like there's not really much to do up there.
Doing nothing but push-ups and inside run, just getting ready every day, all day. Well, that's. Go ahead.
I do want to know this, that the JC route. I mean, you see these guys that go to like college for like 7-8 years, and this is beyond the COVID thing. So you could actually earn a year or two back, right? If you get your degree in a certain amount of time as a JUCO transfer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So can you explain this to me and to the audience?
Yeah. So basically, I came here 21. Yeah, I think I came here in 21, like winter right after you guys came from the Outback Bowl.
Yep.
And so at that time, I was technically a sophomore. So
from high school to when you would be a sophomore in college, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then this year is technically my senior year, but like in football eligibility wise, technically I have 2 more years left after this year.
Correct.
But like academic wise, I'm a senior.
But if when you do graduate, you do get your time. Sort of those 2 years at Lackawanna really don't count then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
So
that's
what they do with the junior college thing it is a much difference, but it is actually much, much better for the athlete and for the player. It really, really is. Thank God. Because they do have time where they're like Aaron Rodgers. He was a JUCO guy.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dudes.
Yeah.
Brian McKinney went to Lackawanna College.
I'm about to say Tyreek Hill also went to a junior college, Garden City.
Now, okay, so I want to ask you. This is interesting to me. I didn't go the JUCO route. And I can imagine that taking that JUCO route, regardless of what the circumstances are, you said you didn't have any offers coming out of high school. That has to be a motivating 2 years that you spend in that program. What is the mindset that it takes to go from Lackawanna to get to a Penn State?
I feel like the mindset I just had, I was just like every day I was just locked in, just doing the right thing, just not doing anything that would just set me back or not like get me to where I want to go. So like when I went there, I actually I was taking like my last semester I took I think 7 classes to graduate early. So like I was just doing everything possible just to keep on working hard and just to move to the next level.
Did anybody tell you that there people were watching that without telling you?
No,
they were. I mean, and I guarantee you. But somebody says, "Okay, he has 7 classes this semester." A college football coach is going to go, "Okay, this kid's committed. He's not just here to get through. He's here to do something," and that proves a lot and says a lot about you, man. You know, we always do this. We always talk about, you know, where are you in 10, 15 years? I always say to everybody, after the NFL is over for you, because that is the goal for all of us as players here. But what are you studying here now? Where do you want to be? 10,
well,
15?
Currently I'm studying RPTM. What I really want to do, I really want to be able to like give back to my community and like help just children in Pittsburgh and just like any like other areas and like around the world.
On that note, I think that's number one, terrific that you're answering that you want to help your community and help kids that come from your area. That's spectacular. Yep. And we've talked with other people that we've had on the show that really NIL can create some of those opportunities to help in that community. We always ask guys about their experience at NIL. Have you been able to utilize that to give back at all yet?
I haven't, but I definitely want to work on something during the off season to like go back to my city and like really like help out.
That football culture in Pittsburgh is serious. You mentioned Terry Smith recruiting you, being a Pittsburgh guy. We've had so many guys just in the past 5 years, from C.J. Thorpe and Lamont Wade to Joey Porter Jr. That Pittsburgh high school football culture, what does it mean and why is it always so successful?
I don't know.
I mean, it's called the whippeal.
Yeah,
the whip.
You got to talk them. If you're going to talk about it, you got to talk like them.
Okay.
Oh, you know what a whippeal is? You got a whippeal title over here. You know that, right? Did Mount Lab get a whippeal for you?
Not for me.
Come on, man.
We got a state 2 years ago though.
And where were you?
I was actually the day of the state championship game. I was up here on my official visit.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. I rooted for you that day. Well, I rooted for your high school that day because you were playing St. Joe's Prep, my rival. So, honest to God, that's an honest question. The whippeal is, I mean, Aeneas, you know it. I mean, you've got a couple of schools in Cincinnati that are real tight, but the whole Pittsburgh, like, it's crazy.
I always say, you know, it's interesting. A lot of times you can tell where a guy is from, and when a guy tells you where he's from, when you play against him, you're not surprised. There are certain regions and areas where guys just come out tougher, and they play a different type of style of football. All the guys I named, even Tank Smith, the guy who's a walk-on, is like highly regarded on Penn State's football team now as being a tough guy, one of the tougher guys on the team. So it's no shock that you came from Pittsburgh and you play the way you do. You mentioned the West Virginia film. Do you take pride as an offensive lineman in being that physical downhill run blocker? What is your identity as an O-lineman?
Yeah, I definitely do take pride in being physical and tough because I feel like that's like the embodiment of being an offensive lineman. Because if you're not tough, you can't play the position. Like you have to be tough to be able to play it.
You just made Goon's whole week, man.
Oh my God.
That answer right there.
It's been a tough couple days, man. I appreciate that, man. It's been a rough few days.
Oh, man.
Well, you can't let the whippeal guys know that they're tough. Don't let them know that.
No doubt.
We can talk about it on the side and like, damn, that team was pretty damn good, but you can't tell them that. I mean, you can't give them any kind of boost.
I completely agree. My dad played high school football in Western PA, and him and his brothers, man, they never shut up about Western PA football. So I know all about that whippeal. I've heard it my whole life. I'm about tired of hearing it, to be honest with you. It's neither here nor there. JB, looking forward to the rest of the season.
My man.
You know, obviously coming off of a tough loss, but still with a lot of football left to play. What is the focus as a unit on that offensive line moving forward?
Well, our focus is like we have to go 1-0 every week. Like we can't like let last game like just keep on dragging us through the whole season and like letting us put us down. We gotta like push forward from that and just keep on working hard and like good things are gonna happen from it.
I'm telling you, me and Aeneas, we have the sign up there. It is a mindset, a lifestyle type of thing. Doesn't matter what you got to do. You got to get up and go to breakfast. You got to get up and go to school. You got to be one of those. You got to beat that class. You got to beat that. Go into class. Go into school. Get your workout in. Getting a win that week. All that stuff. Every day. Everything is a 1-0. You got to compete. You got to dominate that thing. Whatever you do. Well, good luck, big man. Good luck, man.
Jamie,
all right.
Honor having you on, brother.
Get yourself healthy. Come on back. We're waiting for you, baby.
Yes, sir. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with Golden Israel-Achumba on the Blue White Player Show.
Hey, Penn State fans, it's game time, and Ciocca is hitting the field with 42 dealerships and 25 brands in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. That means more choices and the perfect new or pre-owned vehicle priced to fit your budget. Plus, factory-trained service experts are just minutes away, and you can feel confident you're doing business with a family that treats you like family. We're a proud partner of Penn State Athletics and preferred dealership group of the Penn State Alumni Association. The Ciocca Dealerships. Experience the difference.
This is the place where roadside markets are filled with fruits and vegetables, small batch jams and made from scratch pies, where mountain trails are explored with friends with names like Ghost and Traveler, where award-winning wines, craft-made beers, and spirits are raised, hearty meals are served, and nights are shared under star-filled skies. This is Center County, Pennsylvania. To find out all that's happening, visit us at happyvalleyagventures.com.
Hi everybody, Mike the Mailman here to tell you about a state college company that will help you follow the Nittany Lions to their bowl game. Collegiate Athletic Travel. From charter flights and on-site motor coaches to professional staff, the entire trip is easy and carefree. And with their 47 years in the business, you know you're in good hands. You'll get a game ticket and a lot more. Make memories to last a lifetime. Be there next time with Collegiate Athletic Travel.
Old Dominion. No Bad Vibes Tour. Friday, December 1st. Rice Jordan Center. With special guest Chase Rice and Kylie Morgan. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Old Dominion, live in concert. Brought to you by Messina Touring Group.
Coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see you in a Kia.
Welcome back to the Blue White Player Show presented by our buddies over at Ciocca Dealerships. We're joined by one of my favorite teammates I ever had, a guy I spent a lot of time dealing with at Penn State football practices, Golden Israel-Achumba.
Beat him down, didn't you? Yes,
Put your hands down.
I mean, it's okay.
We were going back and forth.
I will say
He weighs 190 pounds now. He ain't going to do nothing to you no more.
Back then, he was like,
He was
290.
He was a husky boy. He was a husky man.
I was husky. Golden, okay. Golden definitely got the better of me in most of our reps, in the wide majority of our reps even, but there was only one rep I remember specifically being bad. You know the drill pods.
Here we go.
Let's.
What we're going to do next week is we're going to bring someone on who you dominated in the
Oh,
who's out there that we can get on the show to say, man,
it's a short list.
Aeneas beat me, man. He beat me down, man. He
It's a
wore
short
me
list.
out of practice.
It's a much shorter list than you realize. But listen, let me get this story off. We had pods, and for the viewers back home, it's a drill basically between half of the offensive line and the half of the defensive line in the run game specifically. Now, I was cheating. This is my last year, so I was paying attention to what the offense's calls were, and they were really basically.
Now you're here.
So listen, they was running inside zone and outside zone. They had a number system. I'm not going to get into details, but I heard the number that got called out. Golden Achumba's up. I'm playing against them. I know the play. I know what's coming, and I'm like, I'm gonna beat the doors off of this kid. I'm gonna win. It's gonna be great. Golden Aeneas got under my pads and carried me 10 yards so bad that the next day in the film, the defensive line coach rewinded it twice, let us all watch it, and simply said, damn, and moved on to the next clip. And that was it.
And
I didn't
knew
even get
the
coached.
play.
I knew what was coming. I knew what he was going to do. Anyway, I say all that to say, Golden, we're happy to have you on the show today, brother.
Appreciate you having me.
I want to get it out the way now.
Wow, you knew the play. And
Listen, this is so far
run
outside
to a
of my
spot.
prime.
Do something.
I was so far outside of my prime.
Yeah, you know what? I knew he was talking the whole way through. Boom, on his back.
Oh, man. All right. Count on Goon to make it worse than what it was.
It's all good.
Either way, I want to get this out the way now. The Matha guy. We know these
Yet another
guys. Yet another. Talk to us about that experience, what it meant to you. Shane Simmons, a guy like yourself. KJ Winston, someone who we had on the show already. Obviously, good football being played there. How did it prepare you for Penn State football?
Shoot, I feel like it gave me the best opportunity to be prepared for college. Looking back, most of our schedule was the same. Everything was pretty much similar except for the day we played our games, played on Fridays. But we had Sunday lifts like we do now. We had Sunday film sessions. We had lift 3 times a week. We had hard days Tuesdays, work day Wednesdays, walkthroughs on Thursdays. I didn't know why we were doing it at first, but once I got up here, it all started to make sense. It's almost like as if the transition became easier than it should have.
That freshman year, the hardest part for most guys is just the rigor of being a Penn State football player. Like you said, the meetings, the lifts constantly. Most guys struggle with that. Coon, can you speak to that at all?
Sure. I mean, you see it in the NFL. I mean, you got guys who can dominate college 10, 12, 13 games a year, but the NFL, they go to 17.
Yep.
Now, when you make that transformation from high school to college, from high school you play Friday night, we'll see you Monday at school.
Yep.
Right. He's talking about a Sunday or Saturday afternoon, Saturday morning lift, a Sunday walkthrough type of thing. I mean, Coach kept you guys out of trouble, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
I mean, I was the same way. I mean, that's the way it has to be done. Have you noticed how recruiting system at Penn State has turned into we know a lot of different high schools and stuff like that. We seem to get a lot of the same guys from different schools.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's a good thing because you're building that base, and you get your McDonough.
Yep, that's where I was going to go next. I mean, with PJ, Kurt
guys.
Jacobs, it's the DMV specifically. They recruit that area so heavily because
Okay, well, here's another thing. You don't tell the DMV guys that the DMV is good because they're going to tell you. Trust me. I mean, it's the same.
Trust me. I lived in the house with PJ Mustapher for 3 years. I never heard the end of it. You would think that my high school could just absolutely never compete with anybody from the DMV. Don't shake your head.
It is funny. Listen, it is funny how they see themselves.
It's ridiculous.
It's all good.
I already told Rogers too, Golden. When Moeller High School played the Matha, they shut them out and they won by 35. So I really don't want to hear from you guys about the quality. 1981. Oh, okay. It's been a little while. Been a long time. Let's move on though.
1981.
I mean, it was far before I was ever alive. I went and Googled that because PJ was pestering me so much. But nonetheless, we talked to JB.
Oh, you said McDonough.
Yeah, no doubt.
McDonough went to Moeller.
No. We went to the Matha.
Oh, you went to the Matha and beat in 1981.
In 1981. But the problem was PJ was talking about the DMV so much that I had to find somebody from the DMV that we had played as a burden of proof of who we are in Ohio. That's neither here nor there.
40 years ago.
I told him I lived in Hyattsville, lived in Lanham for a year down there when I was coaching some Division III football in DC. Yeah. I knew all the DeMatha guys. I knew the St. John's, Gonzaga guys, and good counsel. Great dudes, great players, man.
Yeah, a lot of talent in that area.
They love competing, and it's just it's like Cincinnati. It's just but it's a high-ass level competition. I know that.
No doubt about it. Especially as of late, so much talent coming out of the area. Speaking of talent, not only is Golden a talented offensive lineman, but you may remember Golden from the spring game, being brave, being courageous, stepping in front of that microphone in front of 80,000 people and absolutely crushing that national anthem. Let's talk about number one, your talent, but number two, the courage it took to go do that and where that came from.
I appreciate that.
It's impressive.
Thanks. Singing, I didn't start singing till freshman year here during COVID. We were in the dorms, quarantine, nothing to do. So I just started scrolling away. I'm on Apple Music, listening to songs I like, trying to imitate the artist. Next thing you know, I had the dudes knocking on my door, asking me to lower down the music and stuff, but it was really like me.
Yep.
So I took that as a sign. It's okay. This must be pretty good.
What's your genre?
My genre, I'm big R&B, neo soul type guy. Anything that lets you show off your voice. I like that.
I had never heard Golden sing, and he went up your freshman year. It must have been when guys have to perform at Penn State football. When you first get on campus, you got to sing or dance in front of the entire team. Most guys completely lack the talent necessary to wow the room, and I had grown accustomed to seeing that. Golden Achumba goes up there. I forget what song you sang, but he got a standing ovation within 15 seconds of him opening up those vocal cords of his talent.
So it was before COVID then you were singing.
No, that was
you knew you
freshman
had
year COVID. I really didn't. I really did not know I could sing until people were telling me it sounded like bearable.
Ask my wife. She could tell you I sing great in the shower. I mean, she's like, will you shut up?
Is she in here right now?
Yeah, she's right there. Yeah, she can attest I'm a horrible singer.
Yeah. Thumbs down.
Yeah.
This is the second week in a row, by the way. Goon's wife is giving a thumbs down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was out there singing some tunes, and she's yelling at me. I'm like, you're hurting my career, Carrie. Come on now.
Golden, what are you doing with the music stuff? I know I saw a post on Instagram today. If you want to give the fans back home a little information on what you're doing with the music.
Right. So today I posted. I announced that I'm dropping my first music single called "Time for Me." October 29th. It's dropping this midnight at midnight. That'd be my first song I've ever recorded and put out. So appreciate you guys want to support that.
Where
all platforms?
Where all platforms? You said Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you find your music. I guess my next question is, what does it take for me to get a feature on the album, and why has it taken so long for you to respond to my text regarding so? I've asked you this a couple times now.
Listen, because tell him the only high pitch you heard from him.
Here he goes.
Going on his back.
Right. There it is.
And he's like, I can't do that on my album. I'm trying to release. I'm trying to be very, I'm like, I want it to be a family-friendly album. And he goes, I don't need anybody squealing on there crying.
Right. No doubt about it. No doubt. Golden, back to the football aspect of things. I'm going to just ignore Goon right there. Back to the football aspect of things. Man. You have had a heck of a journey here. You fought through some adversity. You're a guy that everybody on the offensive and defensive line specifically has a lot of respect for. What has it taken for you to battle through some of that adversity and to continue to push towards your goals?
Shoot, it's taking a lot of willpower. It's taking a lot of courage, perseverance. All the type of things you need to be able to be on this football team, to be a man in life, to be able to succeed. Period. You know what I'm saying? All the I've learned from the blessings and the lessons. Shoot. It's been a ride, but I wouldn't change it.
So where does that mindset come from? It's not always easy for young people, specifically myself included, to take some negativity, some adversity, some hard times, and look at it as another way for you to continue to grow and get better and ultimately get to where you want to go. Where does that mindset of that adversity being a sharpening tool, a bridge, if you will, to that success ultimately, where does that come from?
Well, probably stems from my parents. My parents, both Nigerian immigrants, came over at the age of 25, came over nothing, enrolled into the military, got his education. My dad brought my mom over, started a family, brought me and my sisters over. So, I saw firsthand what it takes to, persevere through stuff.
It's easy when you see that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, it's like, wow, you don't sit there and say, I owe you, but they sacrificed a lot to get you where you are.
A whole lot.
It's every person's dream is to do better than the generation before them. So bar set high, my man.
Right.
So where are we at in 15 years?
15 years.
I mean, don't like at the Emmy Awards. I get it, right? Is it Emmy? Is that what it is?
Is that the goal?
It's the Grammys. You're getting on your 14th Grammy. What speech are you giving?
Shoot, my 14th Grammy. Shoot, 15 years.
Or 10 years. What do you got?
I'm gonna plan to use my small business degree to work for whatever 500 company while taking over my dad's HVAC company, People's Mechanical in Maryland. In terms of like the singing, I've just got my feet wet trying to see where it'll take me. I want to see what I can do with it, with my talent. So I can at least say I tried something.
I'm right.
Yeah, that's where I see myself in the 15.
That's awesome, man.
I love that you're a SMIL business guy. Penn State football by itself is hard enough, but you're taking a major. You're studying things that are also pressing you there and pushing you there. Can you speak to your experience as not only a high-level athlete, but a high-level student as well?
Shoot, I don't know what else I would call that. You know what I'm saying? It's part of the reason I came here. You know, Penn State, one of the only schools like in America, you know, that has, you know, top of the line football program, top of the line education. Usually only get one or the other. And, you know, I didn't want to settle for one, so I came to the school that had both.
Damn.
Golden gets it, man.
Recruiting pitch over here.
Yeah, Golden gets it. He's always been a mature
stuff,
guy.
Man.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask you this also. We talk about school. What have you been able to do NIL-wise? Do you see singing maybe potentially being a avenue in which you're able to capitalize on NIL? What have you been able to do so far?
Of course. You know, I started my live performance with the blue-white game, I think last spring, in front of a crowd of I think 80,000. From there, led on to being able to sing on TV for the Little League World Series, USA National Championship game. You know, that was basically through NIL. You know, and my song, like you said, that's coming out next Sunday. It's just opened so many avenues and branches for me. Met so many people that know people that I'd like to know. You know, and NIL, you know, the possibilities. You know, I really like. You know, it's like I don't have any words for it. It's amazing.
The Goon, I'll let you speak to it too. But one of the cool aspects of Penn State that is unique from other places is not only do you get the high level football, you get the high level education, and you get the highest level network as well. And I love seeing guys who are still in the program taking advantage of the network that is there for them, because oftentimes the ones I see do the best that don't go play in the NFL are the ones who are taking the time and the initiative to build out some of those relationships and get to know some of the people around them who are so excited and willing to help them. And that's the part of what makes Penn State so special.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah. I mean, you leave here. I mean, James talks about it. We always talked about it. I mean, going through school here. It's not a 4-year, it's a 40-year commitment, because that's what you're doing. You're getting to here and dealing with Penn State people and using the Penn State connections for the next 40 years of your life. You know, either whether it be first year out of school or your, you know, the business in 25 years. It's a great opportunity, great school, good people, and you know, people remember you. That's the great thing. I mean, I walk around and say, college people, I remember you, and I'm like, how the hell you remember me? You know, but it's true. I mean, look at our fan base right here. They're the greatest fans in the world, nicest people in the world, and they support us through thick and thin. It's a beautiful place and always has been.
Most definitely.
We're three perfect examples of what can go well, and you know, with college and with your career decisions. So
yeah, no doubt about it. Well, Golden, thank you for joining us. Let me know when you're ready to have me on the album.
Give me a little.
Goon and I will be ready.
I mean, he's over here singing. You know, every kiss. Hey, look! Oh, see,
I've been waiting.
He's trying out. He's trying out. Here we
ready
go.
when you are. All right. Anyway, we'll be right back.
Hawk, what do you got? Give me your best. You got 10 seconds.
Go.
I
can't sing.
I'd like to hear it.
Hawk, you got 10 seconds. Come on.
I don't even have a song.
Oh,
we got to get to the break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Lord.
Ciocca Toyota of Williamsport invites you to stop in today or check us out online. We have the smart path to your next Toyota, like the all-new Crown, BZ4X, the all-new Grand Highlander, Corolla Cross Hybrids, Sequoias, and more. Over 100 new Toyotas here and on the way. Don't make a $1,000 mistake. Choose Ciocca Toyota of Williamsport and see the Ciocca Dealerships difference. Buy or reserve yours today and see for yourself why Ciocca Toyota is the only stop you need for your next new car. Ciocca Toyota, it just feels right.
This is the place where roadside markets are filled with fruits and vegetables, small batch jams and made from scratch pies, where mountain trails are explored with friends with names like Ghost and Traveler, where award-winning wines, craft-made beers, and spirits are raised, hearty meals are served, and nights are shared under star-filled skies. This is Center County, Pennsylvania. To find out all that's happening, visit us at happyvalleyagventures.com.
Hi everybody, Mike the Mailman here, to tell you about a state college company that will help you follow the Nittany Lions to their bowl game, Collegiate Athletic Travel. From charter flights and on-site motor coaches to professional staff, the entire trip is easy and carefree. And with their 47 years in the business, you know you're in good hands. You'll get a game ticket and a lot more. Make memories to last a lifetime. Be there next time with Collegiate Athletic Travel.
Old Dominion. No Bad Vibes Tour. Friday, December 1st. Rice Jordan Center. With special guest Chase Rice and Kylie Morgan. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Old Dominion, live in concert. Brought to you by Messina Touring Group.
Coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see you in a Kia.
Welcome back to the Blue White Players Show presented by Ciocca Dealerships. Goon, we got a very special Letterman segment coming up.
Oh, it's our second one. We actually had a little screw up last week with the technology. So Jeff Hardings is a 2-time All-American here, so we figured he could get 2 segments.
I love it.
So
why not?
Jeff is from St. Henry, Ohio. Funny story, was my roommate for 4 years. We were just out in Ohio together. He lives in Columbus. He coaches a Christian high school out there, and Aeneas was at the tailgate. You met and saw him. I said, did I introduce you? He said, no. And I said, yes. He was the 6'4", very, very skinny man. He goes, that guy played offensive line here. And he did. He lost a bunch of weight, but a fantastic NFL career, 10, 11 years. Left there, had a couple kids of his own, has a couple adopted kids, just a good human being, always has been a good human being, from a small town in Ohio called St. Henry.
Listen, I've been in Ohio my whole life.
You're here, St. Henry?
I've never heard of St. Henry.
Well, they produced Jeff Hardings and Bobby Hoying, who was the Ohio State quarterback and the NFL guy. They produced that in the same graduating high school class.
Impressive.
I believe that there was 100 graduating kids, and I think that they had 5 Division I scholarship players. That's not a lie.
That's impressive.
They won a state high school football and basketball in the same year.
A lot of talent.
Jeff is a great friend of mine, a great human being, and a great Penn State football letterman. So enjoy the segment.
Jeff Hardings, and my hometown is St. Henry, Ohio. And I was at Penn State from 91 to 95. And my position was offensive guard. Michigan, it was big. It was, a lot of fans, obviously, a lot of history. And I watched a lot of Notre Dame, Michigan games. So, there you go. Ohio State, I got to play in once. That was, I'm not going to call it the favorite because that was an ugly game for us, offensively. And, we got beat bad 26-6, I think, and weren't even in the game. That's why the next year was so good, because it was revenge. But the Fiesta Bowl was amazing. The Rose Bowl, obviously, the history, I would say when you talk about just the game, the history of that Rose Bowl and what we were playing for and on national TV, the only game on TV, I would say that would be the number one game that I played in. But Michigan was pretty cool because, and then Notre Dame. I forgot about Notre Dame. I'd probably I'm changing Notre Dame because it was my second year there. I was a freshman, redshirt freshman. And, the Notre Dame blood was still in me a little bit, just a teeny bit. You know what I mean? It's like I was, hoping they would do good in every game except ours. And so, to walk into that stadium was pretty cool. Yeah, I think it's hard to ever pick, out necessarily like the toughest time. I'll tell you a couple couple, I think, times that I struggled was, when we were 7-5, when I was I guess I would have been a sophomore or a freshman, sophomore, whatever you call it, redshirt freshman year, my first year playing, if you will. I really felt like that team was not, the seniors weren't really committed to winning as much as you needed to be, and quite frankly, as much as a lot of other guys were, and they were the leaders on the team. And I'm not saying all of them by any means. It's never all of them. They were just, I think anybody that played on that team understood that it was kind of like we went into the season expecting to compete for a national title. And when we lost 2 or 3 games, the wheels, especially probably 2 games, the wheels fell off. And, it definitely wasn't, I don't think, the commitment that you needed to have in order to finish a season 10-2, which ironically happened the next year. And I do think it was because we learned. So, I'm not pointing fingers at anybody really, it's just an experience that we had to have as younger guys, because we had a young team that year. And we learned we didn't want to repeat of, 92 and 93. So when we got beat by Ohio State, and then I think we lost another tough game. I guess that Michigan came in and beat us that year, and that was a really tough game to lose because we were first and goal at the 1 yard line and didn't score, and lost that game. I think we instead of probably learning from the year before, instead of just throwing in the towel, if you will, we decided that that's not how we wanted to go out. And thanks to a lot of great leadership, we finished that year strong, and that kind of led us into that next year. I knew the system was broken back then. And, after we lost, I think in 91, I kind of felt like if we just go undefeated, nobody can take a national title from us. And, that's life. I mean, the system is still broken, obviously. So it's going to be broken forever. Nobody's going to be happy with any system that comes about. The NFL has the system right. You know what I mean? It's the NFL has figured out the system. I don't even think there's anything to complain about with that system right now. But I don't know how they're going to do that in college. So it's just not going to happen. It is what it is. Oh, beating Ohio State 64-14 or something like that. I was an Ohio boy in a town that, I would say 90% or more loved Ohio State. And so I loved Notre Dame. They didn't play each other. Notre Dame, had some good years, and Ohio State really didn't have a lot of great years when I was in high school. So it wasn't really like, that. It was just a little bit more of the fact that, I guess you have a chip on your shoulder. My best friend from high school was playing for Ohio State, Bobby Hoying. And then honestly, the number one reason is we played so well. I mean, any Penn State fan remembers that game at Happy Valley. It was the best game I've ever been a part of in the first half. It's just like we just dominated a top 10 team in the country. I don't even know, 42-7 at halftime or something like that. And finished the game 64-14. And, there was amazing satisfaction in that kind of dominance.
You can just tell that Jeff is a quality dude right there, man.
Absolutely. And just so we know, we saved that segment for last week because going into the Ohio State game, that was his favorite moment of our career, was beating them 63-14. That's not so appropriate right now, 2 days after Saturday. So,
unfortunately,
where are we going from here, brother? I mean, you've been in this ship before. We've been in this ship. I've been in the same ship. I said ship, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know. I didn't want to stress that. I did say ship.
Family-friendly show.
Correct.
Well, first of all, I want to express that, everybody involved with Penn State football at every level, from fans to coaches to players, everybody's feeling the frustration right now. Let's get that out the way. We're not going to sugarcoat what Saturday was and what it could have represented for Penn State football moving forward. But like you said, there's still some opportunity left on the table to go out and prove the type of football team you are. Maryland is a quality football team. Sure. Indiana's not going to come in here and roll over. Michigan is a beatable football team. It may not seem like it today after that Ohio State loss, but I know those types of guys in the locker room are going to fight with every ounce of resolve in them, and they're going to try to make it a game that they can go win. And ultimately, if they can find a way to go do that, then there is the potential that Penn State football is still where people want them to be at the end of the season.
So I'm listening to what you say, and I love what you're saying, because I'm 28 years removed from the program. You're still around the guys.
Yep.
So as long as we know that the guys are still they're feeling this and they're still going to fight through this and this and that, that's the type of kids we have and the type of leadership we have. I mean, Jeff was just talking about how in '92 we didn't have great leaders and guys packed it in. I don't see that happening with this team.
No, that personality is not even in the locker room anymore. If you would have asked me a few years ago, whatever year you want to pick, how Penn State football would respond to a loss like that, what you would see over that course of those few years is a trend where Penn State football loses one game, then they lose 2 or 3 more they have no business losing. Coach Franklin's gotten that out of the locker room. Those guys are much more mature than they used to be. I guess the thing to me is, you look at a team, you look at teams that win championships. And a lot of times what you see as a common factor with those teams is some sort of adversity hits during the season, and then they completely turn it around and they come back revamped and much better than what they were before. And to me, when I look at Penn State football, that's the challenge. This loss is only terrible if you don't find a way to go move forward and get significantly better over the course of time, because this is still a highly, highly talented Penn State football team. They got to find a way to go do it.
I heard somebody clapping, and we all should clap. That was a great statement right there. That was awesome.
I appreciate you.
I mean, you're sitting there. It's something that galvanizes the team. Is that lost? Is that going to galvanize the team? I'll tell you what. Seeing our quarterback crying in a press conference would remind you of. Timmy Tebow type of thing. When he goes, I'm going to tell you, we're going to go out there, we're going to play our asses off, we're going to do all this every game, every week going forward.
Yeah, and I want to get back to, let's talk about Drew a little bit, because obviously, it wasn't the performance that anybody around wanted to see from him in that big of a moment.
Especially him.
Especially him more so than anybody. But, you look at 15 for 43, you look at a struggle of a game, that's more than just on Drew. The Penn State wide receivers have to find a way to create separation.
Absolutely.
The coaches have to know who they have in that locker room, and they have to know the talent they have and where it's at, and they got to lean into that identity, and they got to really pound the rock when it comes time, when they can't go beat man coverage, and they can't put their offensive line in 3rd and longs where they have to sit back and pass protect against a D-line full of NFL talent. It's not a winning recipe. So, that's an open challenge to the staff, to the receivers, to Drew Aller, who knows he's better than what he showed on Saturday. But, I look at Drew. I've known him since he was a recruit. I've got no doubt about the type of kid that he is, the type of competitor he is. And I know he's got a good head on his shoulders, and he's going to come back better than what he was on Saturday.
I don't think I can say anything better than that, my man.
Yeah, I'm sorry for rambling. I've been listening to the small talk on Twitter all week long. Listen.
They're picking on him, saying, but you know what? He shouldn't have been put in that position. This, yada, yada, yada. He wanted to be put in that position. He's a competitor. He's a starting quarterback in the Big Ten.
No doubt about it.
He's going to be a star. This is going to pay off in the end, in my opinion. You got to be humbled a little bit. You can't have it all just be great, 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 great. If you're going to have setbacks and this and that. Well, it's a setback for him. See how he reacts. See how his team reacts. See how every person in that Lash building reacts.
No doubt. And listen, I
don't want to be in Indiana this week. My personal opinion. I don't want to be in Indiana because they're going to come in there. They're going to be.
Oh yeah,
a lot of PO'd boys going out there.
There's going to be some anger on Saturday.
Absolutely,
going to be some anger on Saturday,
and it's not gone. It's the quest is still alive. It's at there's maybe a little diversion, a little speed bump here and there, but it's not over. The season is not over.
Yeah, and
far from.
I will bring this back up. I was not going to do this, but in 2018, I was a part of a Penn State football team that lost to Ohio State by 1. And we got a speech in the locker room, and he gave it to the media too. Coach Franklin did, where he talked about the difference between being a great program and an elite program. And it's been a long time since 2018. And everybody is tired of hearing the talk. And what it's going to take to make that transition over that fine of a line from great to elite is everybody getting better, from the staff to the players, and even the fans continuing to push these guys forward and being supportive. It's going to take everybody, and that's what championship programs do. And you want to go be that at Penn State football. We're going to find out who they are for the rest of the season.
By the way, everybody here, if you have friends who aren't showing up because they're mad at Penn State, they're not Penn Staters then, man.
No doubt.
They're not Penn Staters, in my opinion. So
get
out of here, support the guys.
Yeah, seriously. One question I want to ask you before we wrap up here. What areas do you see from Penn State football that need to improve the most and need to improve the quickest for them to be successful?
Well, obviously getting separation as wide receivers. It just seems that they were just ball hawking. They were all up on us physically. They were much more physical than we were. Defensively, I thought we played great. We did everything we possibly could to keep us in that game and win that game. I don't know if Ohio State called a great game. I mean, there was a couple of stopping them on the goal line and fourth down.
Yep.
Yes, that would have been a nail in the coffin, but I mean, the way that game was going, 3 points would have been good enough. I don't know if Ohio State made the right decision there, but they're ripe for the picking. Personally, us offensive line wise, I mean, there was one play, it was a third or fourth down, and where we blocked down with the tight end and tried to block down with the whole offensive line and try to pull across a tight end to block the number one defensive tackle and defensive end in the country. And I'm just sitting there. Is that the most? I mean, first of all, he was on Olu's side,
right?
Just let him block him.
Yep.
Just let him lock him down. I mean, I was impressed with Ohio State actually putting him on Olu.
Yeah,
to be honest with you,
it shows how confident they are in JT that he's going to be able to go beat him. Now,
I know you didn't have Larry Johnson here, but you know of Larry, and he had those guys jacked, ready to go. Man.
He definitely did, and I knew that Larry Johnson was going to have those guys jacked and ready to go when I heard his voice on the hype video in the stadium. Listen, at the end of the day, you played a top 5 defense. You didn't get the job done. You got punched in your mouth. Yep. Are you a great football team or are you not? And great football teams respond in these moments of adversity. That defensive line was on one. They were playing at a high level. And you bring up a great point. Bringing a tight end across the formation to block JT Tuimoloau in a crucial moment, to me, that's what I say. There were some things schematically and planning-wise that didn't seem like they were on point. It didn't take a rocket scientist to say, hey, you need to line up and run power here on 3rd and 1 and not run a fake reverse. You need to not block a number 1 DN with a tight end, little things like that.
I mean, just the fact that I saw non-quarterbacks try to throw the ball 3 different times, I'm like, just give it up, man. Just let your quarterback play quarterback.
Yep.
Let our running backs play running back. Let our offensive line play offensive line. And come off the ball, be aggressive. I mean, everybody learned a lot of stuff on Saturday.
Yep.
I have always said I'm a product of Joe Paterno. Everybody knows that. You learn more from a loss than you do from any win you've ever had.
No
and
doubt
I'm telling you, that any great team will learn more from a loss than they do from a win.
Yep. And last thing I'll say before we wrap up here, and I know, Coach Franklin is, whatever his record is against top 5 teams on the road. I mean, there are so many stats that have been thrown out. He is feeling this as much as anybody. I would assure you. He's the most competitive person I know. He's got a plan. He likes to win. I know he's going to get better from this, and he's going to make adjustments himself. But at the same time, it's time to go. It's time to go do it. I've got full confidence that he can go do it. And I'm looking forward to seeing how they adjust throughout the rest of the year, man.
It's good, Bubba.
No doubt about it.
Done,
Appreciate you guys joining us on the Blue White Players Show. We'll be back again next week after a victory.
Yes, sir.